Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Hey, welcome to the stream. My name is Matthew Gordon. With me, I have Pinckney Benedict and Dylan Davis, and we're Neophyte Studio. We are three writers who chill on here, play games, talk about narrative, and where can we find some of your work, guys? Whoever wants to start. We might be having some audio problems. Yeah, it looks like I'm having a hard time picking up desktop audio, which means it would be both of you. Are you listening through the stream, though? Mm. Hmm. Just the mic. Yeah, it's window capture. Mm-mm. Yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Audio input capture. Properties. I believe you. Let me try that. Output capture. Yeah, let's see if we can get this sorted out because we're still not getting audio from you guys. Hmm. Let's see. I am doing it the exact same way as before. Now I wonder why I'm not getting audio. It's set to the source of the game. Well, I'm sorry, everyone. Honestly, Hmm. Audio output capture. Let's see if this does it. Yeah. Let's see here. Is that working?
Check.
Yeah.
We're good.
Mixer. There we go.
We're good. The sound is fixed. Well, Pinckney, talk real quick. Let's make sure we can hear you.
Okay, here I am. I'm talking right into my mic.
Okay, we're good.
Oop,
We're
now
good.
it's my phone. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Got to
just
come
the stream.
everywhere. All right. Shall we
Great.
start again? Shall we try that again? Because your intro was so sweet, Matt. Like
Was it?
it was sweet like a broadcasting god.
Right.
Practicing.
It was sick.
Alone in my bedroom at night, just day after day getting ready.
Chanting your own name.
I don't remember.
Matthew.
Yeah.
My stepbrother told me about a time when he did that. He cheered himself on to get to, he worked at McDonald's and he cheered himself on to get through a day of work. Like genuinely, like he was like full on. And I was like, yeah, that is what you gotta do.
I suppose I'll say it one more time. Yeah, I'm Matthew Gordon. This is Pinckney Benedict and Dylan Davis. We are here as Neophyte Studios playing games, talking about writing. And let's have the short version this time, Pinckney. Where can we find some of your work?
Short version. With me, there is no short version. I'm a professor. I'm a professor of creative writing at Southern Illinois University, and these goons are my goons. I hired them, and they work for me, and so I make them play games with me, and I render my literary opinion. And they pretend to agree with me. So it's all nice. But my books are available on Amazon or wherever fine literary works are sold. I have 3 books of 3 collections of short stories and a novel. Novel's Dogs of God. It's really bloody and violent, and it would make a great game, to be honest.
Yeah, it would be really cool. I chose Mudman, and I really should have chosen Dogs of God.
And it's so nice of us to spend time with you, so you can pretend.
It is. It's kind of sad, I'm at that stage of my life where I actually have to pay my friends to hang out with me. So these 2 fellows are my research assistants, and this is research. This is what academia is now. It's three yahoos sitting around playing video games and streaming to Twitch.
And
what we have.
Dylan, if somebody wanted to see more of your stuff, where would they go?
Well, there's a bunch of short stories and literary magazines that are probably gone now, so you won't find those. But if you want to find actually interesting work, you could go to itch.io and download the demo to Mudman. It's just Dylan Davis on itch.io. That's more interesting. I would not buy any of the lit mags.
It is the beginning of an adaptation of one of my short stories.
Yes.
To PC game. So.
And see, Pinckney, why do you think I chose one of your short stories to adapt into a video game before one of my short stories?
Just a nice way to blow smoke up my butt.
No, it's because I don't have any good short stories.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed it was a way to flatter me.
No.
But
it can do 2 things.
No, I was just saying they aren't mutually exclusive necessarily.
Well, no, Mudman's just really cool.
Let's get into the game, and we can keep shooting the shit, and we don't even have to talk about Disco.
Why don't we start the game? Good idea.
We can at least start moving through it.
So the goal, as Matt's definitely he definitely keeps us organized because I can't, but Matt we're all playing Disco Elysium together. And Pinckney's mostly playing it, and then when he runs into a reference from the 70s.
Yeah, and this is a story that my students insisted to me was a great work of literature. I said, bah.
It's so articulate.
There's no way, says I, that a silly game could be a work of literature. And they said, oh, but boss, it is a work of literature, and so now we're putting that to the test. fuck him up, Kuno. Yeah, there we go.
And before we go any further, we had some new followers since last week, so I just want to call you guys out and say thank you. Ankiv W, Leather Pickles, Salitia, I feel like I'm dyslexic, Monster Professor, and Hi 4605. If any of you are watching, thank you very much for subscribing.
Yeah, I wonder if my brother's watching. I told him to watch today. He better be.
Better.
All right.
Yeah. Families do not. Okay, so we have investigated the body. I have spoken to the body quite a lot. I have exchanged pleasantries with Kuno and Kuno S, who I believe is not actually a being, or at least is not a human being. There's something weird going on with Kuno S behind the fence, and I believe behind the fence is an objective correlative. We talked last week about objective correlatives being those things in the external world in literature that, it's an idea from T.S. Eliot, right? That we have these objective correlatives that give us an objective way to experience the internal state of the character. And I think the fact that Kuno S is behind a fence puts Kuno S in some other, right? Kuno S is clearly in some other realm of being. Yeah, it's not the same plane that we are. This is my guess, right? I'm talking about the expectation.
You're accurate is the thing. Your predictions, you're not like, you haven't been there, but you're there. You get it.
Right. Well, because I mean, if it's gonna work like literature, it's got to do what literature does, right? And it's got to create expectation in the reader, because we're always, as readers, right? And as writers, we're trying to be out ahead of the reader. As readers, we're trying to be out ahead of the writer. It's a kind of competition. And
it's a game.
You set up expectations, right? And then you either fulfill those expectations, or you defer those expectations, or fulfill them in some unexpected way. But if I were to talk about Kuno S and objective correlative, I would say I am understanding this is a creature not of our world.
And if we really wanted to dig in, if we wanted to get like real analytical on this in terms of how we would get in an MFA workshop, like the I didn't carry you. The thing that I find very interesting is that Kuno is throwing rocks at a corpse, right? And that is an objective correlative for the character, for the main character, because we come in and we're thinking this is going to be an investigation and there's a mystery behind it. And the very first person that we talk to who has any like contact with the body is very mean to us and really offensive. And I think that's kind of telling for the whole mystery of the story, is it's going to be offensive. And it's going to be challenging. Like this is not going to be a normal thing, right?
No, you're right. It's really abnormal. Like Kuno really hurt my feelings last week.
Like, oh, but you wouldn't let him go.
I can't. I to befriend him. I admire him. I kept calling everything Kuno during this whole week. Like he kept coming up for me whenever I can't come up with a name for something or can't remember anything. I just fill in. And I was filling everything in with Kuno.
What was it? Popeye, Yahweh, and Kuno, the three greatest literary
Yahweh
figures?
And Kuno, I am what I am. Right. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So there've been lots of people. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, that's not going to do us any good then.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's see if we can figure out what kind of boots.
Okay. What?
Hey, why are you getting these?
This is crazy. I never hit anything below 40.
I know.
Maybe more than 12. 8 pairs of boots is shuffled back and forth in the mud. Well, let's go. Since we've seen them, let's go over them. Okay. Work boot. 44. Okay. Let's just count more. I'm not too concerned. Okay, so everybody had feet about the same size.
Yep.
Okay.
about the same age then, right?
Yeah.
Let's go with number
Let's go with male or female if it's a tiny foot.
Okay.
Okay. I am gonna say I'm pretty good at this. I'm gonna sing my own praises. Nobody else is nice to me. All right, I'm good. Count the rest. Blowing out of a standard woodwork boot. The imprints are twice as deep as the others. Weight exceeds 200 kilograms. That's like 440 pounds, right?
It's a big
like
dude.
the weight of
Big
two
motherfucker.
people, isn't it?
Or maybe somebody carrying somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. Oh, damn, dude really needs to get on a diet. Let's tell him 8. We'll be straight with Kim. He seems like a good guy.
Not 400 million.
No, we won't. Yeah, I counted 20. Same guys are going back and forth. We'll just be straight with this guy. Okay. Let's see. Do you see anything out of the ordinary? Let's go with the heavy one too. Let's point out to him the heavy one. Combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up. A heavily built worker carrying a similarly built soon-to-be dead man? I think so, Kim. I think we're thinking the same way. Great minds think alike, Kim.
It's amazing that Pinckney is more adept at streaming than Matt and I are.
Well, how could you ever talk over him? I don't want to be the person that disrupts
better
the
30
child.
years, right? Like, I have to have developed some skills, and the skill of talking continuously about something I know nothing about is definitely one of them. Okay, I'm tempted to suggest it was a giant or an extremely obese person, but I've pledged to be straight with Kim, so we'll say one of them was carrying him over. We'll just agree.
If one of the options was Chasten, you're the
Chasten. I probably better not go into that, but yeah, Chasten was a giant. Possibly, yes. The lieutenant marked something down in his notebook. And let's point out the aberration. One soul is smoother than the other. The odd soul. A drummer. Let's go. One of the people we're looking for is a drummer.
Okay.
Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out their right shoe before the left. The accelerator's on the right. I'll just nod thoughtfully. I'm not bright.
Okay.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam, see whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Is the person who wrote this British or something?
It's written in British English.
Yeah, no,
he's Estonian though.
Yeah, and I guess they have. Oh, he's Estonian. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's better at English than I am at Estonian. I will make no criticisms. Seems prudent, no?
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's all right. That is, that was what I was going to choose. It's okay, Matt. Lieutenant writes the information down in his notebook, then reverts to the tracks in the mud. Let's ask how old he thinks they are. Oh yeah, of course. It's been a week. All right. How do you know? The last warm day. Oh, okay. So they all just froze in place. That's cool. That's cool. Continue.
Yeah, it was cool.
Would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago. Okay, well we'll do all of it. Go ahead with light step number 41.
Okay.
A woman or a kid? I don't think there's any way to be sure.
Okay.
All right. Do we want to ask him what happened here, or do we want to move on?
I think let's move on.
Okay. Yeah, I want to just kind of run around and explore some stuff.
Yeah, we still haven't seen a lot of the, like, just the world in general.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like all I've done has been in the bar and been out here. But I mean, I think it speaks really well of a game that I'm willing to spend
Tons of time, yeah.
investigating this stuff. It's
Mhm.
so okay. Well, should we? What do we want to go?
Well, we
Do
gotta
we
go
want to go
back
to the
out
west? Where do we want to go?
south, and I think the big decision is left or right. I think just pick left or right, Pinckney.
Yeah.
I'll take you on an adventure.
Okay, let's go right.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't need to discover everything at the right time and the right way.
No, and I'll play through on my own at some point. In construction, roofing material. Why am I looking at this pile of roofing material? Yeah, check it out. It's 58%. That's not bad. Yeah, there we go. There's a secret door hidden behind the panel.
Favorite location in the whole game. That and behind the bookstore.
Okay. What is this then? Whoop.
Oh, sorry.
Too fast, man. I read slow. I'm old.
I forgot that we probably should be leveling up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can we even level up? Oh no, we haven't leveled up yet.
Yeah.
Wow, that's surprising.
Okay.
We'll go in here.
Silver plate with traces of bone yellow powder. Ooh, drugs. Oh, it is. It's amphetamine. See, I want. Outstanding. I am.
It's drugs.
Okay, continue.
Oh, yes. Yellow powder. It's drugs.
Studying powder in
Number 3 is just
number 3.
the best.
Yeah, I've heard amphetamines make you a really good detective. Are you a really good detective? I'm just a regular detective. Thank you very much. I wasn't thinking about taking it. I swear, I was thinking about justice, because I'm always thinking about justice. All right, okay, Kim. Kim is like a person watching this stream, telling me to get the hell on with it. Yeah. Swift lightning justice. Faster, harder justicer. I like this guy. See that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor. No, a secret path the local kids use. Okay.
Could we get a look
What's
at
a
the
chair?
throne?
Can we look at the chair?
Yeah.
Get out of the way or get fucked up? Wow. I would put it the other way, I think. Cured pig's head. Ugh. Okay.
What's this? Oh, 40 cents. Remember, you got to pay your hostel bill.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forget how much I owe.
$20. You have 40 cents right now.
I think I'm probably just going to have to beat that guy to a pulp.
Magnesium supplement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
did I miss something?
store. No, you just clicked through it. The convenience store and all the like supplements and the like food that they
is there a
keep
coat?
world building is interesting.
Yeah.
Is that a coat? Can I reach that coat?
I think so. I
just
clicked
gotta
it
go
and here
up
it
and
is.
around.
The character's walking. Oh yeah, he's got to walk around.
Because his sartorial choices so far have been on point.
Looks like someone left his
Police
tarpaulin
cloak.
cloak.
Excellent. Can we take it? See, white rectangle on his back. You son of a gun, it's a cop's cloak. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, it probably is mine, Kim. I'm basically just an animal. I can make the jump. Am I saying that to him, or am I going to make the jump?
No, that's still he's saying that to you.
Oh, that's him saying it to me.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good. Okay, go for the cloak. Absolutely, we're going for it.
Okay.
Yeah, 58%. I've
God,
got the
can you
top.
just fail at something?
Ah!
Yeah.
What do we call this moment in storytelling, Pinckney?
Close your eyes, let your senses take in the world around you. Yeah, close my eyes and let my senses take in the world around me. I love this.
Just before we go on, though, I want to ask one question. What is this moment in storytelling called? What is the character doing right now?
Oh, well, I mean, the character's crossing a threshold.
Right. He's entering the special world, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. No, good, very
Yeah.
good. See,
Yeah.
and now the student has become the master.
We're good.
Can one of you explain
No, that's right.
what you're
So,
referring
but what do
to?
you mean by the special world? What do you when you say the character is entering the special world? Where does that term come from, and what are you talking about?
Well, the reason why I think it's the character entering the special world is because there's a great amount of emphasis given to this one particular moment where it freezes, right? Like we've done many other skill checks before, but it's never frozen during one of these skill checks.
Yep.
And so far, we haven't really seen nothing's really been dangerous for the character, right?
True.
Sure.
He's just been existing. I mean, he's been doing things, but there's no existential worry. Right. And in this, he's leaping, and that moment of leap. No, I buy it. And so, if this is entering the special world, this means that the other end of this jump, right, in a story, or novel or movie, we would presumably be asking ourselves, or it would be a question that the storytellers put in there is, did we actually die in this jump?
Right.
Because we're going to close our eyes and then have this successful landing and a revelation, and then we're going to go on to live our lives in this sort of spectacular way. And in reality, we're actually just lying with our skull split open on the pavement, right? It's that Jacob's ladder kind of thing, right? Where we're actually dead for most of the story, or what have you, and it's just our dream, our sort of dying dream of what we've been through. So close your eyes, let your senses take in the world around you. I'm very excited that that's a choice.
And see, that would have just healed you. And your health is interesting. The orange squares on the left, like your physical health versus your mental health. I forget what the actual stat is, the morale. And so your choice, even though we're short on health, would have healed your body. It's wonderful.
Shivers. Love shivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and look at how it's all sensory detail, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not, it isn't summary, it isn't,
Reported.
I mean, I would be perfectly happy with this as a point of view paragraph in a story.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Okay. No, don't let go of the moment yet. Let's hold it as long as we can.
Okay.
Ah, there you go.
Okay, so now we'll continue our voyage through the salty air. See, been a while since you felt so alive, alert, capable, and we just jumped off of something. I'm telling you, we just died. I think we just died, and now we've entered an even more fantastical state. So now I don't have to be worried about consequences at all because I'm already dead.
Well, and Dylan, did you fail that check ever to try and?
No, I didn't. Miraculously, I succeeded.
Yeah, see, I didn't even attempt it because I was so low on my stats.
Oh, really?
I don't know what happens when you fail. You might just eat shit and lose health.
Interesting.
You might die.
My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump. This is my world, man. All I want to be is disco. All right. Feet firmly planted on the concrete.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Something that Dylan didn't want me to read.
I'm sorry. When you say all right, I think it means you read it.
You just read so fast.
So much.
No, I just say all right because things are all right, Dylan. Things are not bad. Item gained. Okay, I've got my patrol cloak. Let's put that on.
so it
You
gives
lose your
now,
disco ass voice.
now I look like a badass.
Yeah.
That is great. With the bell-bottom pants. That is, yep. The
one
point.
green
The
shoe.
one shoe.
Oh, that's right. Only one shoe. I need another shoe.
You never went and found the other one.
Well,
You had no follow up to that.
Well,
nothing except like I've had days like that, particularly since the lockdown. A
Yeah.
lot of my days are like, I don't think I'm wearing both shoes, honey. What? Great machines in quiescence. Wow. Low cab.
Wild Pines.
Looks like a forest under snow. See, and obviously this guy's more sensitive than he lets on.
The
Because
player
he
character?
notices things like that. What's that?
The player character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He notices. He has these little poetic moments,
Right.
despite really just being an animal. Carlson. Okay.
So you haven't been over here, Matt?
I have been over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I
was
really
gonna say,
love
what
this
the
area.
fuck?
I haven't gotten into that shipping container though.
Oh, the one back that we just passed?
The one we just passed, yeah.
The great machines are sleeping.
Yeah, stuff like that definitely makes you think like, oh yeah, this character is definitely like,
Yeah, no,
he's very poetic.
Yeah, he is. Oh, so I'm just picking up like change. I find
Yeah.
I do that, so that's
There's
perfectly
a
fine.
whole system it
I
gives
love
you where
quarters,
you can
man. Pocket full of
collect
quarters
trash.
make me feel rich.
Yeah, just wait until you get the bag, the plastic bag, so you can start picking up recyclable materials to trade in.
That makes me pretty happy. What's that
Oh.
dot over there?
Here's another amazing character.
Oh,
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, put the logos on.
It's fucking
Container,
easy, Leo, man.
used to be Wild Pines. Container, now belongs to Everett.
wow.
So
No,
engaged.
I want to talk to this guy. He seems happy. Hi.
Everett, he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister? I see you're not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
Oh. So no, of course not.
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
Okay.
Just
I-
some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
Let's ask where everybody is. Number 2.
Oh, number 2, sorry.
Where is everyone? Sorry, I was not clear.
No, you're good.
Down at the gates. Oh, okay. So it's all in a confidential look. Okay, let's hear what conspiratorial nonsense this guy's going to come up with. Okay, we're on a strike. The whole union is, so you don't have to work when you're on strike. So really, this is like the faculty. We went on strike. You all weren't here yet, but we went on strike. I don't know. It was probably 10 years ago, and you have never seen a less impressive show of force than the faculty of a university on strike. I mean, I crossed the picket line with no fear at all. And there were no reprisals. Nobody keyed my car. I have no respect for these. Whatever. Okay.
I
So we're
cannot
on
wait to
strike.
see what happens.
I just want to. I want to connect my life to the story, so that the audience has a sense of not just what's going on in the story, but who I am.
Right.
So yeah, I've been on strike. So no one is working, says Kim Kitsuragi. Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everett is in his office, where he always is, and Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. Jean-Luc.
We skip right past Jean-Luc.
Oh no!
No, we didn't.
But
No.
Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble, and Everett sent them on a nice vacation up for a week or so. Okay, but let's ask, what kind of trouble did Titus and his friends get into? Well, he's going to tell us anyway.
Are you gonna play this? You're gonna come out straight, or are you gonna get him to admit?
No, I think my guy's a straight shooter.
Yeah.
I like this little dude. Let's just go. Really, did they kill someone? I don't think they killed anyone. Oh, better talk about something else. Titus and his boys do good work. I don't want to get them in trouble over a little drinking. Okay. Well, let's just ask him about his job. Let's find out. Let's see what he does.
What are you doing?
What
Or
with the containers? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at that. Yeah. Let's see what. Outstanding.
Unbelievable. I failed so many checks.
Oh, I save scrub with this game. No shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't know. RNGs, I'm pretty good with. For whatever reason, they recognize me as a kindred spirit. It's professional courtesy.
Fan of chaos.
All right. Like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core. See, dude's a poet. Dude is up. Yep. Okay. Great.
I think that the interesting thing is, like, so he's so crass at times, and yet, like, that there's, like, because of the way he communicates, there's something really, really special about him. So he's still a hero, right? He's still a heroic character. It's just they've done a very good job of making him humorously inept, even though he's not.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, he's, you can imagine him being played by Nick Nolte or somebody in the 80s, right? This guy who seems to be just a drunk with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he's a jerk and everything, but there's a reason he's a detective. I mean, there's nothing else he could do.
Right.
I mean, and he's a detective and he notices. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on. Appear to be cisterns underneath the Union container cup.
There is a conversation that I want to have before we end for today.
Okay, all right. Well, so let's finish this one up. I do want to ask though. Let's ask Kim. Looks like a massive redecorating operation, Kim.
Okay.
I like Kim.
Yeah. His opinions are usually very valuable.
DeBarto's year. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, so let's do thanks, Leo, and move on and go do what you're interested in doing.
All right.
All
right.
Okay, I'm off.
Okay. So one thing.
We will see him again.
We will. One thing I need to say.
Yeah. Are we going inside?
We're going in the container.
Oh, what joy. What excitement.
Okay. Coffee in the giant thermoses is still lukewarm. Okay. Stair made of pallets leading up. Oh. I didn't fish the time. Okay. Let's talk to Mr. Big here. A walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see me. Oh, okay. He straightens himself up and he simply stares at you. Let's ask if he's in charge. We're not leaving.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat.
A tiny chair. Okay. I'm glad. Let's
Everard Clare, head of the Dubois Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand.
Okay. All right.
You go ahead, detective.
Okay. Thank you, Kim, you jerk. Where he has in store for you, it can't be good. I'll do my best. Okay. Yeah. You blast. I'm getting some seriously bad vibes from that name. Let's take a seat. Let's go ahead. We're not gonna play this guy's game, or maybe
Okay.
we are. Maybe that's the game we're playing.
So take a seat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Wink back.
So tell me, how can the head of the DeBarges Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
I'm what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the RCM. That's what my code is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I was worried that I was part of a militia.
It's just a weird name for a cop.
Okay, yeah, okay. No, I'm just a cop. My God.
Yeah.
I'm slow.
Damaged
Oh, no.
health.
It's violating your backside. Ooh. Okay.
By the way, I heard you got a rather rude
okay, you have a ton of
reception
health.
from a certain Lawrence Garte. Some people have no manners. Pains me to say.
It's the,
Okay, that was true.
This
Yeah.
should take care of that nonsense.
Okay, good. All right. Getting
It should
paid,
be
man.
sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with the cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Oh my god, this went so differently for me.
Okay. 25 real. Okay. Number 2. Thank you, Everett. And we'll take the comically large check.
You're gonna take the comic. Okay.
Don't mention it, but also don't forget it. I'm just kidding, of course.
Okay, good. I'm
Now,
all about getting
I'd
paid.
like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've
See,
got my
this guy's
best
okay.
hounds looking for that lost gun.
The union, the head of the union.
Yeah, he's fine. He's
Okay.
being helpful. He just.
Lost gun.
Good. That's great. Lost a gun. Okay. Good. Concept goods. Where's yours? I'm gonna. Yeah, that doesn't worry me at all. Who cares if I've lost my gun and the love of my life?
Okay.
I'm in pain.
Oh,
Oh,
buddy.
despair. Getting fat on your weakness. Wow. Okay. Whatever noble intentions you once had, it's eating them all up now. Okay. All right. Still coming up with sentences. That's a step up. Yes, it is. Wow, I can quit? I wasted my life protecting humans. I'm done. No one even likes cops. Wow. Okay, so I have to choose which of these fuck yous I'm choosing.
Mhm.
Let's go with I'm done. No one even likes cops. ACAB. Yeah, he's a philosopher, is Kim Saragi.
Yep.
You did it.
I actually resigned. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So we'll have to reload. That's why I saved beforehand,
No,
because
that's perfect. God, I love it that it can end like that.
Actually,
Right.
we're at 4:44. What do we want to like speed run another conversation with the
with the union guy.
boss? Yeah, and just
I don't know.
see
I
what
don't
else can
think
happen.
I played that conversation probably 15 times before I lucked
Really?
out and didn't die.
See, I didn't die. I didn't know you could die in that conversation. What ended up
Really?
happening with
I
me
retired.
was I just
Yeah,
went
but
back and
died in the
Wow,
forth.
game
that's
though.
a happy ending. You people are young. You think retiring is dying. Retiring is not dying. Retire is when you begin to live.
Right.
Okay,
So you're
see,
getting ready to live in here just a couple years.
This is the difference between an old person playing this game and a young person. Like,
Right.
you think the unhappy endings are the happy endings.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm happy.
Well, we wanted to kind of come to get down to 4:45 so we could talk a little bit about what we're doing next week.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I'm satisfied. That seems good, and we can come back to
Yeah.
disco if we
Yeah.
want to. But I think next week let's do something different and
Mhm.
kind of see how we are without when we do something other than disco.
yeah.
So how does that? Real quick though, I want to talk about just because I didn't accept that that was like the end of the game, right? So I just kept reloading until I won the conversation, right? So what does that short story look like? Like, guy wakes up, he realizes that he's probably behaved very badly in a drunken state, and he tries to make nice with a kid who's very mean to him, and then he retires when he realizes that he's lost his gun. Like, is that a successful short story?
Well, I think it could be, right? I mean, given that what we're talking about in a short story is really change, right? And we're talking about changes in state, revelation, self-revelation. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean that's anagnoresis, right? Is that moment usually toward the end of a story? It can occur anywhere, but it's that moment of self-discovery, right?
Right.
That moment where you realize, oh, you're not at all who you thought you were. You're Oedipus, and you realize you're the cause of the disease in
Right.
Thebes, right? You're, spoiler alert, but you're the guy in Richard Matheson's I Am Legend, the
Yeah.
novel, and you realize at the end, oh, I'm not the human, and they're the monsters. They're now the humans, and I'm the monster, right?
Right.
And this, I mean, so it seems like, I mean, the realization that you're just in the wrong game is that's an agnoresis.
Yeah.
But I think it probably has to be, I mean, if it's going to work, it has to work in something like the way my brain went, right? Which was like, oh, the torture is over. I can now just go be a retired person,
Right.
right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it has to go from engagement and like sort of an aggressive, desire. It can't just be pathetic. Like, oh, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this
Right.
sucks so much worse that I'm gonna retire, right? Because that's like an MFA short story. Everything is sad, everything is tough, right? But like it's tough, it's tough, it's tough. You keep going, and then you just realize, like, this fat guy has set me free.
Right. Right.
He has retired me. I mean, just think about it, okay? And TMI, right? But this is going to be one of those twitches where we talk about our innermost thoughts and where I reveal all of your personal secrets that I know about, right? But
One
so
of those
Dylan,
twitches.
right,
One of
right, right,
those.
exactly. But this is the straight poop. We should just call this twitch that the straight poop.
The straight poop.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you the straight poop. But Dylan, right? You had a similar anagnoresis as a writer, right?
Mhm.
In the MFO program. I mean, do you want to
Right.
describe that, or do you want me to? It'll probably be more flattering coming from you. But
Yeah. No, I actually think I think it'll be better to hear from
okay,
you.
well, I mean, you were going along. Dylan doesn't actually know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
that
No
is
idea.
That's
excellent
code.
response. No. Well done. Well done. But you came in thinking you were a literary writer, right?
Right.
And that was the best thing that you could be, was to be published in Monkeyfish Bicycle magazine and nominated for the Push Nozzle Award, and you know what I mean, and having
Mhm.
lofty philosophical conversations with everybody, and after
Right.
with all your MFA colleagues, and they're all like, "Oh, Dylan's so deep and dark and smart." Right, but so you kind of found out that wasn't you, right? At a certain
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think like I kind of just realized all along what I knew, which was that I like fun more than I like smart, and so I moved away from the nonsense, like because the smart is all just fake anyway. It's just another personality shell that you put on. Like and it's no more valuable than being fun, right? Like I think a lot of literary writers they think that smart is more valuable than fun, and it's false.
Right. So you essentially just turned in your gun, right?
Yeah.
You were just like, well, you know what I mean? Like the game is not worth the candle.
Right.
And you've moved now into something else. Yeah, your anagnoresis actually resulted in change and a certain kind of retirement.
We have a question here
your
from
story's
chat
just like
real quick.
What's that?
Yeah. We have a great question from chat.
Yeah, really. So can there be character change if the person who wakes up from amnesia is different from the person who got hit over the head and knocked out? Aren't those just two different characters? Can one make a decision for the other? Is that a real character change?
Oh, I love that question, and I would put it right back to Beth. Because it sounds to me like there's a declaration in the question, and I'd be happy to hear it as a declaration, because Beth sounds like she knows at least as much about this as I goddamn do. I mean, that's a really Beth. Hey Beth, come be in our graduate program. One of these guys, I can just kick one of these guys out because they wouldn't have been capable of that.
If you just wait for a couple more months, you can kick me out, because then I'll be graduated.
So can we ask Beth? I mean, is that, I don't know. I don't understand Twitch protocol, but I'd like to hear what Beth thinks.
Well, this is Pokemon Alpha Dave 007.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you got Beth from.
Yeah. I thought you just slipped into senility really quick.
No, I know. All right.
Yeah, I'm guessing, but
okay. Yeah. All right. Well, then I will essay and answer it then. I think the character who is knocked unconscious and becomes another person, right? And I'm trying to think. I mean, there are concrete examples of that, right? There's there's the guy in Total Recall, the Arnold movie, right? Who actually deliberately makes himself forget who he is in order to sort of create a meaningful subterfuge. And when he was Hauser, he was a bad guy, right? But he sort of through the brain reworking, he has become a good guy. But there's actually, I'm trying to think, there's a kind of a sad, well, I guess that guy hasn't actually forgotten necessarily who he is, but I'm thinking of the protagonist of History of Violence, right, which is a comic, and then a really good Viggo Mortensen movie.
Yeah.
Just a small, unassuming, but very smart, like a nearly perfect drama.
Isn't that cool? Like famously the last movie to ever be like mass produced on VHS or something? I want to say it's History of Violence.
I thought it was newer than that, but I mean, I don't know when VHS.
It was like early 2000s.
Okay, yeah, no, that's probably right.
I think.
I think
also fact check that.
Could be, but boy, it's just so well done.
Yeah.
And that's a guy who, I guess he didn't get bonked on the head, but he went out into the desert and killed himself. Right. And came out of the desert as a new person. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then in order to protect the new person, he has to call up who he was from the dead, and be that person for a time in order to do what he has to do in order to, go back and have his family. And the end of that movie is ambiguous, as it should be, but it's, that moment where he sits down with his family and they're all like, oh my God, this guy who we thought was our nice, dad who ran a diner is this like famous psychopath and killer. Right. But he kind of he seems like our dad again, and they offer him food, right? I mean, they offer him a way back into the family. Mm-hmm. But one senses that what he's actually been able to do is synthesize or integrate the, who he was with who he is now, and in a way become a whole person. Because you sense in Viggo's mildness in the early part of that movie that he isn't whole, right? Like there's something, this is not the Viggo we know, right? This is not the guy who wrestles naked in what's that movie, Eastern Promises, right? So I mean, it's really, I think that the thing that would have to happen with those is that those two characters would have to become integrated, right?
Mhm.
The good character who is the post death character, right? Because you're saying somebody gets knocked unconscious and another person awakens. Well, that's a death, right? That's a death and a kind of not a resurrection but a rebirth, and then at the
Right,
end they probably have to sort of come back together in some way. I
right,
think you can
right,
look at this ending as being that, right? As this is a guy who, he doesn't remember who he is, but now that he remembers that he's a cop, right? And he's like, I'm a cop, but I've lost my gun. Nobody likes cops. I've wasted my life. He re-becomes who he was, except now he understands that it's really the end of it,
right,
right?
right.
Before, when he lost his memory, he wasn't prepared for it to end. But what he's
Mhm.
been through between being reawakened and rediscovering who he was is he's also moved across that
Mm-hmm.
threshold of the willingness to retire, which to you all seems like death.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's a great answer to that question. And additionally, I think that one of the things that stands out about this game, and it's dealing with amnesia as a character, like as a character technique or characterization
Mhm.
technique, is that the game we know from just it being a detective story that it's not just him trying to solve the mystery. He's detectiving his past, right?
Yeah.
Right, right,
And
right.
and so, not in this particular ending where the character dies by retiring, as the young people put it, but but the but in the full version of the game where you move on and you learn more and more and more about who the main character was in the story, I think you start to realize that the change of the character is this character going to go back to the detective he
Right,
was before
right.
and the amnesia, or is he going to be a new person?
And I'm trying to remember I'm pretty sure it's a film, maybe it's a novel, but
Hmm.
there really is a story just like that, right? Where a guy is, and he keeps telling people like, that's not me, like I didn't do those things. And it turns out he absolutely did. You know what I mean? Like this guy was horrible.
Yeah,
And but that's the great detective story, right? And we may have talked about this last week or the
Yeah,
week
I think
before,
we
but
did. I was just about to bring up the same thing, and I'm like, did we say
yeah,
this?
it's the only good detective story. The
right.
detective story where the detective is trying to solve a crime is a cozy, essentially. It's and there are great ones. I don't mean that, I mean like Poirot.
Mm.
Poirot, great, right? All that Agatha Christie stuff, outstanding. At the same time, they're entertainments rather than art, I would say. And
Right.
there's nothing wrong with entertainments. As you know, Dylan, I mean, I love entertainment, and deft
Right, right.
entertainment is awesome. But this is really about self knowledge, right, and self investigation in the way that Oedipus Rex is.
Right.
And so this is much more like, I wonder if you all know, because what this is reminding me of, because of the French names, I mean French-ish, right?
Hmm.
That there is a sort of French feel to a lot of the name place names. I'm Dubois,
Mm-hmm.
the other guy, right? And do you all know Georges Simenon's Maigret novels?
Hmm.
No. What is
They're
that,
these great
Maigret?
novels. Maigret, Maigret. Maigret is the name of his detective.
Mm.
And there are, I think, 70 Maigret novels. And they were written between and actually span between like the 30s and the
Um,
70s, I think, in
yeah.
Paris.
The
Like,
covers are dope.
oh,
The,
oh and they've all been reissued. Like they're so good. They're very short. Sometimes only 120 pages, and
cool.
they're much less about the mystery, although they're very good about the mystery, than they are about Maigret. And if you
Uh-huh.
read them all, right, and it's about Maigret's marriage,
Yeah.
and not but like in a really like grown up way. It's about a man growing older and a man, going through his career. And if you read all 70,
Mm-hmm.
right, and so you're probably talking with 70, you're probably talking, I mean that's the length of 20 conventional novels or 25.
Hmm.
You go with him, and it's contemporaneous, right? This is not somebody in the 70s writing about somebody in the 30s. This
Yeah.
is somebody writing a character in the 30s who's in the 30s. And then during the Second World War, right, Maigret is in occupied Paris, and after it, and then Dien Bien Phu, right, and all of French history of the 20th century, and this guy kind of lives through it. Not, he's not in the battlefield. He's always just an inspector in Paris. But you're not going to Maigret exactly to go like, oh, I wonder who did it, or how will Maigret trap the bad guy? You're there because you're in love with Maigret, and you want to spend your life with Maigret.
Right.
As George Simenon did, right, as the writer did, he spent his whole life with this guy. It's just an amazing. But this has that kind of feel with it. Maigret's this really big, lumpy guy, and he's middle class. And his detectives are middle class, and so the judges are always really snarky with him and stuff. And he's very like dry with them, but he's always like jabbing the judges. And he's a big guy, so he pushes people out of his way, and people see him come and get out of the way. And he's very blunt. He just drinks like a fish.
That's awesome.
These
sound great.
You'll love those books, and they're such a quick read. And like it's just like you read one, and you're like, oh, what's the next title? What's number 2?
Yeah, I'm starting one tonight. That just sounds like perfect. It has
that feel, right? That it's this guy who you could live around this guy. Like he'd be
right.
I hope. Well, we'll see how it all comes out, but I hope there are more Disco games.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
they've been talking about stuff like that.
Yeah, and like I think you said, Dylan, this was a whole world they were using for like a tabletop, and they reference an entire world and a crazy history. So I would die to see more things set in this.
Well, yeah, I mean anybody who can make up Kuno, and the characters, like I really do like Kim. Kim Kitsuragi. Like I remember his name. Like I don't really even remember your all's name, right? And I've known you both for years. But like Kim Kitsuragi, like if he walked into my house right now, I'd be like, dude, have a seat. You've got wisdom, you got grace. You put a smile on everybody's face.
I do none of those 3 things.
Yeah. So or like that big guy, right? Like he's the Casper Gutman of the thing. He's not. He's grotesque and contemptible, but he's also like there's a certain. Like I want to deal with him, right? Like I don't want to yell at him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, he's got that competency and that mystique, and it's just such a great character for you to put in a detective story.
Well, he's a king, right? I mean, the guy he's a king, and you walk into his kingdom, you walk into his throne room, and he's like, "I'm such a king, I'm not even going to get up when you enter the room. Like I don't have to, you know, and I'm gracious enough to offer you a seat." But I'm offering you the seat, right? And and it's just the power, the power plays and the games that these people are playing among themselves are really interesting, and trying to figure out like, okay, how would I deal with this person in real life, right? I mean, that's all I've been asking myself. It's like, okay, if I were actually having this conversation, where would I want to take it?
And the writing is so good. You're torn between that motivation of what would I do, getting really into the role playing, and being like, what's fun? And every option is fun, so you're being yanked in all these different directions.
It's masterful. I mean, it's masterful.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
What other games has this person made?
No, this is it.
This is it.
What were you gonna say, Dylan?
Really?
Yeah. This is it. This is the only game they've made, other than the tabletop one. I was just going to say, Matt, in response, that what was interesting is I had a very different experience where my character, when he walked into that office, he made very quick visual calculations that this guy was really shady.
Yep.
Which Pinckney's guy didn't make.
Yep.
And so I was like, I refused to sit down, and then he started like making power plays and basically ultimately forcing me to sit down.
Yeah.
Because he would not talk to me unless I sat down.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See,
and he was like, well, if you're not going to sit down, then...
See, I was able to avoid that. I ended up stonewalling him enough, and I got in this whole sidetrack conversation about the Dubois comment to try and get to the bottom of that, and I entered his area through the front gate, let's say.
You went through the front gate?
I went through the front gate. I did a roundhouse kick. I took down the guard. It was fantastic.
None of that for me.
Yeah. And so I got in there, and on the way up, there's a payphone you can interact with, and you start to remember some details about your history. So I was really caught up in my character's identity. And something in that conversation ended up working, and I got the information from him I need, or something slipped, and it advanced the plot like 10 steps. And I didn't beat him, right? Because he's like immovable, right? But I definitely stood up for myself in an interesting way. And yeah, I didn't even know you could fail there, like die.
Yeah, see,
like,
that's so meaningful, right? That see, you keep saying it's failure. I say self-knowledge is not failure.
Sure.
Right.
Well, and okay, here's
hey,
another.
this was a stupid way to spend my life, because
Yeah.
there are days when I wake up and I am sitting in a committee meeting,
Yeah.
right, and it's just going on, and I put up an avatar so I don't have to be awake anymore, and I'm just thinking like, what? I wasted my life. Like I understand this guy. I mean, in the way that I now understand. See, but I get the young person's thing. Like I used to watch Apocalypse Now and think it was about Willie, right? Now, old and fat and bald, like I sit down, I put on my camo face paint. I already coated in flop sweat because I sweat whenever I eat, like a monster. And then I just sit down and I watch the bits with Kurtz.
Yeah.
Right. And I used to hate the stuff with Kurtz. When I saw that movie when I was 15, I was like, I love this movie up until that.
See, I had the complete opposite reaction as a teenager. I saw him, right? And I saw that like existential threat of being a person, right? And coming out the other side of engaging with other people. And I immediately identified with Kurtz.
Well, I mean, I'm impressed because it's only probably the last 10 years I've gone, oh my God, Kurtz is actually the good guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Willard, what are you doing, Willard? So, yeah, I lie in bed at night just going,
Before we wrap up, I had a different question about games as art and a really interesting comment. But Pinckney kind of brought this up, which put the idea in my mind, right? This game, like, we reached unending. It is not the ending. There's plenty more of the work, right, that we could engage with, right? But it's not reading the last page of a book, right? We read, if we want to talk about this in terms of pages, 10 pages out of a 300-page novel. That's, we've seen a tiny, tiny fraction. You might even walk that back. We've seen 2 pages. Does that hurt or help? Does that make this a good medium or a bad medium for storytelling, right?
I think
you can
great.
hit this. Yeah. I mean, go ahead with whatever you got.
What I wanted to say was I'm just so happy that they actually put in not codas, but indications that the story can end there.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I think it's so awesome that you can do that. And
it really surprised me, but it was also, I mean, right, we talk about sublimity. Sublimity is that thing, that occurrence, and particularly at the end of a story, when, what happens, first of all, it surprises you. It's not what you expected. You go someplace you hadn't considered before. It changes your view of everything that came before it.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same moment, right, you also realize this is a complete surprise, but it's also totally inevitable. Like I should have, like every sign was there. This was always a possibility, and I should have understood that this was, and that when I made my choice and it was just like, dude retires.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the thing with the gun. That was your realization with the gun. You're like, oh my God, I'm a cop. Where's my gun?
I'm the worst. Yeah. Exactly. Like I'm a cop without a gun is not a cop. Therefore, I'm done.
And, and you only have one shoe.
Who's lost his gun? Yeah. It's so that was a sublime ending. Now I'll go on and play it, and go through all the discussion trees and stuff like that, and I'll go further and I'll go different ways and stuff. But like for me, for us to end after a 3-episode run, that was the ending of that particular version of that story.
Yeah,
totally satisfied.
Awesome.
Totally satisfied with it, but I'm now I'm eager to go explore, the other possibilities.
That's
But
wonderful.
yeah, to have found a sublime ending, like that.
Good call on Dylan to walk us into that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I have got to get them in this room. I have to.
Yeah, no. I'm glad that was cool.
And my thing, kind of going about that, is as long as you personally, right, subjectively get your money's worth out of a narrative, who fucking cares? If you watch 10 minutes of a movie that you paid $18 to get into, not that we can go to movie theaters, but hypothetically, right?
I mean, in my mind, like I think games are woefully underpriced, just in general. Like, I think it's crazy when people say, like, I paid $60, I should get 1,000 hours. It's like, do you?
Right,
I mean,
right. No,
you paid $30 for an hour.
I see people like that with like things like Half-Life Alyx.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, this game gave me an alternate life. You know what I mean? Like when I'm in there is pretty much as real as my real life is. Plus, I'm an attractive woman. I'm like, what? Seriously, what could be better? I mean, imagine, like, this game makes me an attractive woman. It makes me. There is
no novel, no film could ever.
You cannot put a price on that. Right? I look at a mirror in that game, and I'm like, ooh. The thing, I won the lottery of life. And so how could they charge me too much for that?
I know.
I mean, we fully embody. But see, it's like, I mean, I remember I forget who the comedian was, who was like, what's wrong with us? We're like, we're 40,000 feet in the air in a plane that's going almost the speed of sound. We can cross the continent in a few hours, and we're like, oh, this drink is warm. I mean, like, we're in the midst of miracles.
I know.
And everybody's like, I only got 4 hours out of that. I want to slap people, and let's make a game where I can slap ungrateful people.
We got another question in the chat, and it's about games as art, and I think we'll wait until next week to address this question, because I've got a whole discussion about games as art over whatever we're going to play next week. But the question is, multiple endings make the narrative lack theme. It makes it lack authorial intent. Does it make it less artful? I guess
no.
If it can, should, I think are the words that I would throw in there. And
so I don't think it.
What's the thesis of the question?
Is that variability?
Do multiple endings make something less artful?
And I would jump in the position of no, because you, as an author, knowing that things can end in different places, right? You like this game, these scenes, these areas are all such small vignettes, right? And each of them are giving you a full story of themes and character growth and change, right? And so if you're hitting one of those and you get to the end of even just getting out of the room or going through a single dialogue option in this game, I think it's so tight with its themes that you're not losing it. If that makes sense.
I mean, as long as but I mean, the other thing I would add to that, and I'll let you all talk about is that there is a thing in art and in rhetoric, but in art we say, that's what I would call in a workshop class the intentional fallacy, right? Which is the idea that writers very frequently have, but that readers much less frequently have. The idea that the writer's intention is actually it's an imperative, it's dispositive, and what the writer's intention was kind of overrides. Like if you get into an argument with the writer and the writer says, well, I meant this to be a meditation on man's inhumanity to man, and you're like, well, I just thought it was a great sex romp, right? You lose to the author because of that, the intentional fallacy,
sure,
right? And in fact, as somebody who's been a writer for a good long time and known a lot of them, the writer's intention is trivial, at least in my opinion, right? Or at least the writer's like explicit intention. My only intention is that you should like get a kick out of what I write, and that you should see through eyes other than your own. And beyond that, like, there's no lesson I want you to take away, or that if you don't take away, you've like failed my intention, because my intention is trivial in the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that there's more authorial intent when there's multiple endings. I mean, because if a really good writer knows that, and a writer who really cares about their craft knows that they're creating a game, whether they're writing a book or they're making a game, right?
Sure.
I mean, they're creating a game, and the only thing that matters is whether or not somebody enjoyed it, and however they enjoy it, it doesn't matter. It's just did they enjoy it? And so I just disagree with the idea that
yeah, I mean, you can
multiple
read
endings
the Bible,
mean
you
lack
can
of
read the Old Testament as pornography and like blood, like bloody-minded war, right? Like, I mean,
right.
And I would not argue with you if you did. If you just went, man, it's just all these old Jews cutting each other up and screwing each other's wives, And, well, that's probably not what the author intended, but right.
You're not objectively wrong.
It is on its face true, right?
Right.
Now I think there are other things there, but that's certainly, I mean, that's a fine way to enjoy it. Like if you read, I don't know, well, whatever. But I just, the other thing is too, when I think of exercises I have writers do in my classes, right? One of them is to have them write 10 endings to whatever narrative they're currently working on, right?
Right.
And they should be quite different from each other. It's not just a slight variation, guy wears a yellow hat, guy wears a brown hat. I mean, they're really different. Like the story really comes out differently in each of those endings. And that's something like this, right? Like those alternate endings exist in the fiction. They're just not realized on the page, right? And in a way, you're playing a game with the writer because you're always picturing what the end is, right? Or what the outcome of this particular situation is. Yeah, you're always trying to guess. Like, okay, if Ace of Hawks does this, right, then that's going to happen. And that's Wiseblood. And Wiseblood is a brilliant first novel. I was thinking Wiseblood because this is this person's first game. Wiseblood was Flannery O'Connor's first novel. And don't ever read Wiseblood if you're working on your first novel.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Idiot. Yeah, you would look at that and go like, why would I ever write a first novel?
It was so much better.
So beautiful and perfect. But
well, I think this is a great place to wrap up.
We're always envisioning different outcomes, right? So yeah, but I'm not a big proponent of authorial intent. I'm much more concerned with the reader than with the writer. And if the reader has a satisfactory experience of it, even if I might think, oh well, that's a dumb thing to think, or that's the opposite of what I think. What do I care? Like they've had they're as fully human as I am.
Right.
And thank you for the follow, Pokemon Alpha Dave 007. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, so let's wrap.
Yes,
let's what are we doing?
Wrap.
Well, let's talk briefly about what we want to do on next week's stream.
Do we want to
and the additions, because we're going to do some additional streaming. We're adding some.
Yes, we're going to be looking for guests to show up. Maybe not at this regular time slot. Maybe in this regular time slot. Plus, just kind of the normal streaming type of things. The three of us are, I think, planning to fold our regular accounts and instead go live from Neophyte Studios. So you'll see Dylan doing game design, doing some writing, Pinckney probably in some VR stuff.
Yeah.
I might just be on here playing Magic Arena for 6 hours a day instead of getting work done. Who knows?
I'm going to play Paper Beast this weekend in VR, and I'm going to try to find a way to be able to see the chat stream.
And are you thinking Saturday, probably?
Yeah, Saturday is going to be my best day for playing.
Okay, so watch for that. We are going to, when these things are more solid, like Dylan's schedule, Pinckney's schedule, they'll be on the schedule. So everyone keep an eye on our page, look for that. And as far as go ahead, Dylan.
I think a great idea is for next week we play either my game or your game, and we workshop it like it's a short story.
Oh God!
I think that's a good idea.
I
can go first. That's fine.
As long as you'll go first, I'm down.
All right, good.
All I want is to walk around in this world.
I've got a sabbatical this spring, and I'm going to be writing a novel, but it's going to be a hybrid novel, right? And I'm hoping it can be an AR, but it may be a VR thing or maybe 2D. And we can workshop that. Like I'll be able to spin out chunks of that novel as we go along, and we can talk about them.
That might be what this
it's
time
so cool.
slot turns into, and then our regular streaming our games might end up being at different times. Who knows? Time is subjective. Reality is fluid.
Yeah. So what do we want to? We're gonna play. We're gonna play Dylan's next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna
do
be
something.
drunk for that.
I'll have my VR thingy. I
I'm
might
actually gonna
send
start
it.
drinking now.
I might
so that
send
I'm
it over to
ready.
you guys and have one of you walk through it fresh. I think
Right.
that'd be good.
Good. All right, my friends. This is getting more
fun.
fun as we do it. Like
Yeah.
I like this one
Really
even
enjoy.
better than the other two. So
It's really
thank you.
fun.
Having a good time.
Yep.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Wonderful.
See you.
See y'all.
Thanks for joining. Bye.